Xbox just cleared up two big mysteries fans have been debating for months. First, why Microsoft canceled its own first-party handheld after early prototypes, and second, who's actually in charge of the ROG Ally's price tag. In a new interview, Xbox president Sarah Bond revealed that Microsoft decided not to build its own handheld and instead focus on powering devices from partners like ASUS. At the same time, Microsoft confirmed that ASUS, not Xbox, sets ROG Ally pricing, even though it's become the go-to portable for Game Pass players. So what does this tell us about Xbox's long-term handheld strategy and how far Microsoft wants to go in hardware again? Let's jump into it. It's really interesting. Remember the Xbox is dead crowd? That's right. This was only a few weeks ago, the Xbox is dead crowd. And now I see some of the most ardent purveyors of that mentality now saying like, well, the reason that I think they're going to fail is because they're relying on Windows. After this article comes out and basically debunks many of the things that they're talking about, once again, Sarah Bond doubles, triples, quadruples down on the fact that they are not giving up on hardware, that they're in the very middle of developing the next generation console, that it's going to be the biggest console or the biggest leap, generational leap, technological leap in a generation, etc., etc. This was a really good, interesting article, this over at Variety.com, and Sarah Bond does say a few things that puts everyone to shame. I did highlight them here because I thought it was important that we actually quote from the article. We could have taken quotes from Twitter and stuff, but I thought let's go to the source. Let's go to the article. This is what they say. First up, Xbox President Sarah Bond tells Variety that the price tags for the Ally were determined with guidance from manufacturer ASUS based on the features. Quote, "We looked at how do we create multiple options for people. It really was ASUS because this is their hardware," Bond said Thursday during a launch event for the Ally devices. Quote, That is all of their insight into the market, into the feature set, into what people want to determine the ultimate prices of devices. I thought they were wrong when the prices dropped. I thought that they got it wrong. They were too expensive. I was proven wrong. I was incorrect. They sold out. They had a huge, huge success. So there is that quote. Going further down, there's Sarah Bond. Dude, she's badass. Going further down, Bond says the pre-launch results are a, quote, real confirmation of something that we know and have been working towards for a really long time, which is gaming should act like all entertainment. It should be something you can have with you anywhere. You should be able to play any game you want with anyone you want on any device. This is starting to ring true, and it's why I think a lot of the Xbox is dead crowd is starting to walk things back a little bit. You can see them really starting to hedge their bets, and now they're tapping into these like technical things like, oh well, it's Windows and Windows is terrible, bro. You game on a window on your PC on a Windows. What are you talking about, dude? So many of these guys are hedging their bets because I think this is what I was talking about that Xbox needs to do, and this is them doing it here. Come out with their vision and forward-thinking vision, and you could see it all coming together. The ASUS launch was a complete success. Xbox now has a handheld. And what is she talking about? Again, what Phil Spencer has been talking about this entire time, breaking down the walled garden, saying it's going to be just like any other entertainment that you have. You should be able to play it anywhere, with anyone you want, however you want. And that's absolutely huge. And I think, to her point, and to Xbox's point here, she says it was a confirmation of something that they know and that they've been working towards for a long time. And we're finally get to see it come to pass here because of the success of the ROG. Now, if the ASUS ROG Ally X launched and it didn't sell out and it wasn't a huge success, I don't know that they'd be able to say that. I don't know that they'd be validated, but clearly they were validated here. And again, like I said, we are seeing a lot of walkback here from people. Here's why she said Xbox decided to partner with ASUS, quote, to really begin to transform the experience and take it to that next level in a way that we could do partnered much quicker and a much more innovative way than we could individually with what we were doing. And that's why she said that they partnered with ASUS instead of create their own Xbox there. So, Xbox, she talks about in the interview here that Xbox explored an in-house portable console, but decided it wasn't the right time for a first-party handheld and that they could do it faster and with a partnership. A partnership just made more sense. And I mean, as we've seen this drop, remember, again, I'll say this again, I was against them doing a partnership only. I thought you got to have your own device. That's going to be where things are best. Look at Apple as the example. They control everything from beginning to end. All their software works really good. Nope, I was wrong. ASUS is the way to go. These partnerships, I think, is the way to go. Certified by Xbox is the way to go. It just enables you to do it faster, quicker, get it out the door, and start proving your concept correct here. She goes on to say that they're doubling down on Windows handhelds made by ASUS, Lenovo, and others, ensuring Game Pass, the Xbox app, and cloud gaming are all tightly integrated into those. There is one last quote here I think I highlighted right here. And this is on the hardware. Well, number one, it's an ecosystem, but we'll get into that. She says, "We are 100% looking at making things in the future," Bond said. "We have our next-gen hardware in development. We've been looking at prototyping design. We have a partnership we've announced with AMD around it, so that is coming. What we saw here was an opportunity to innovate in a new way and to bring gamers another choice in addition to our next-gen hardware. We are always listening for what players and creators want. When there is demand for innovation, we're going to build it." And that's where they're at. Again, like I said, if you go on social media, the social media bros that were, "Oh my goodness, Xbox is dead. They raised their price by 33 cents a day." Anyways, they're walking it back. They're all backtracking. They're all of a sudden all hedging their bets, and now they're being introspective. And now they're saying, "Oh, well, I think that here's my 3-point plan on why I think they're going to fail, and it has nothing to do with anything else that I previously talked about in my overreaction, emotional reaction, overreaction. Can you overreact to an overreaction? Yes, you can, and yes, they did." Xbox message ultimately in this interview, again, I think it's a really good one. Go check it out by Variety. And Sarah Bond's message here, it's this forward-thinking vision. And I think Xbox needs to do more of this. I think Xbox needs to be putting this on X and on Twitter. And their forward-thinking vision, what they're thinking is it's about the ecosystem. It's not about hardware control. Sarah Bond emphasized that Microsoft's role is to make the Xbox experience available everywhere, not necessarily just manufacture every device that it runs on. And that's exactly what we're seeing, and that's the success that we're seeing with the ROG Ally series here. I love my Ally X. The longer I have it, so far, I'm 6 days in now. The longer I have it, or 5 days in, I don't know how long I am. I used it nonstop this weekend, dude, and I love it. No buyer's remorse. I highly recommend it to everyone. It's what I wanted. It's what I want in a handheld. It's what I wanted in gaming. Something that enables me to have flexibility. I've still used my console as well. I use my console to get that 4K big TV experience, and then to get more hours in gaming and work towards beating a game this week. I play on the handheld when I can, as I can, and that's what it's opened up for me. More game time for me. It's excellent. Why does this interview matter? Because I think, number one, it underscores what we've talked about on this channel for a while, but it underscores it to a point and puts forward that vision to where social media bros are having to walk back their overreaction, emotional reactions here. I think that what Sarah Bond said over and over and over again is that it's ecosystem first. That Xbox is more interested in expanding the platform than it is competing in hardware. They're supporting multiple PC handhelds, and in their view, that's going to broaden Game Pass reach without production risk, without having to mess with the hardware, without having to set all that up. I think it's smart. Is it cautious? I don't think that it's cautiousness necessarily, but I do think it's smart. Think about it. They've experimented with hardware in the past, whether it's the Kinect, the Surface Duo, even Xbox One's launch DRM messaging. They messed up on that messaging. They don't need to do that now. Microsoft and Xbox are staying a little bit more in their comfort zone here. That is software, services, and ecosystems, and I think it's the sweet spot for them. And again, proof positive is the success of the ASUS and how much I'm loving it. I think ASUS is effectively Xbox's hardware arm for handhelds at this point. By letting ASUS innovate, by letting ASUS say, "Hey, let's partner. We want to take this to the next level." They can innovate on form factor and pricing. Xbox gets the visibility in the handheld space without carrying any of the costs. Just like ASUS gets the visibility and demand from console players that normally wouldn't be in their space without carrying any of the costs of having to build out those platforms. It's a win-win, and it's a great partnership, I think, and it was smart by both parties for it. There is a trade-off there with brand control a little bit. If the ROG Ally gets criticized for performance or pricing, I think pricing, I initially criticized them as well for that pricing. The public won't blame ASUS, and we haven't. They blame Xbox. It's Xbox on the go. So there's perception there with that. Similar to Windows. When you have a problem with Windows, it could be your hardware that you're utilizing that Windows had nothing to do with. But we blame it on Windows, right? That's a little bit of that. I think Microsoft is comfortable with that. I think Xbox is comfortable with that. They've been doing that and dominating in that space for years. Why not do it here with gaming? Again, long-term vision reiterated here. It's why I think this article is so important, why we're covering it. I think the long-term vision has been underlined, underscored, exclamation pointed, bolded, and turned up to headline status. And that is Xbox everywhere. If this works, every Windows handheld could become an Xbox. No exclusive device needed. It's a subtle but massive shift in the industry. I think it's a subtle but massive shift in Xbox's DNA here. And I think it's leading this next generation of consoles. Again, the next 5 years is going to look completely different than the last 5 years. It's going to be interesting to see. Does a PlayStation go this route? Does a Nintendo go this route? How are we shaking things up? Does Valve go this route? Do they want to go third party with their handheld devices as well? I don't know that they need to either. I don't know. I think everyone's kind of in a different position right now, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. I would love to know what you guys think, though. What do you think of this article? What do you think of the social media bros backing off and backpedaling as fast as humanly possible from where they were 3 weeks ago? They must not be getting views on it now, right? Is that it? Anyways, would love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Again, don't forget that like button. Subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We cover videos like this all the time right here. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.